I want to welcome everybody to the show, and we have a guest that flew in from Oklahoma, and his name is CEO Social TV on social media, and his first name is Wyatt. We're going to talk about IRL streaming and his streaming and gaming and what he does in our TikTok live agency. So I want to welcome Wyatt to the show.
I'm doing awesome. Thank you for asking.
You're our biggest performer on the TikTok Live Creator Network agency, and you're our leader. Tell me a little bit about being from Oklahoma. You said you live in a small town, and you said you got into gaming because of, you were bored, or?
Yeah, I was just bored, sitting in my room. Really, the only thing that could really get me out of my mind and stuff.
Out of your mind? What do you mean by that?
Because when you're from Oklahoma, there's nothing to do after you do it a couple of times. So it's just, you get bored very, very, very fast. Yeah, so you just got to get out of your mind and try streaming. I liked it, and I just stuck with it.
Well, you have a lot of energy, and before you streamed, what did you do? I mean, did you know you had this personality before you got started streaming?
I've always been kind of like the funny type, like the person to be outstanding. I really didn't know that I had a niche for it until I started streaming.
So you didn't know this character was going to come out. When do you realize that this character is in the forefront? You know what I'm saying? This character comes out, you do have some energy because you don't have a guide. If you're not around other people, you're in your home, you're in your room by yourself. How do you overcome the apprehension because you don't know what you don't know?
Probably just natural energy, for real. Because a lot of people, some people are just naturally boring. Mm-hmm. Some people are just naturally outgoing. Say from 3 years ago when I started doing e-dates and stuff on Twitch, that's when it kind of took off, when I knew that, okay, I have a lot of energy. People like me for who I am.
Being from Oklahoma, tell me a little bit about that.
Right now I live with my brother, but I was living with my mom. Wanted to try something different. So getting out of my mom's house was kind of a relief. I was so pressured on what I can and cannot do. So right now I live with my brother in a small town in Oklahoma, which there's nothing to do. So all I do is stream 24/7.
So do you ride horses or anything?
No horses, just pure grinding.
What are the nuances? Some of these nuances, just some of this language kids talk. Even though I'm the owner of this TikTok Live agency, I can structure something, I can give an outline to something just based on a person's personality. But what are some of these nuances online where there's some type of, is there a language that y'all resonate with?
Yeah, there's some code words because we're kind of lazier nowadays.
And being in your room playing a game, what type of games do you play?
I play Fortnite, Call of Duty, 2K, really anything. Because the more games I play, the more audience I'll gain.
What's your favorite game?
Right now, GTA and Fortnite.
GTA. Now, what is GTA for the listeners out there?
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto, and then Fortnite. Why do people want to watch a gamer?
Some gamers are boring, but the reason why they want to watch me, for example, is because I play music, I'm a vibe, I dance. Just a character. Going person that someone can just go into the stream and just vibe with.
You don't see these personalities outside of the gaming or in their room or whatever. Do you think that becomes your own reality?
Yes, for sure. Because you don't talk to nobody outside of it. I don't really go outside like that. Because in my head, I think outside's not that good, And if I just stay inside the room and I just grind.
If that becomes your own reality, and when you stop streaming, and you've been streaming for several hours, several days, and you haven't been out of your room, when you get out, is there an adjustment? Does it mess with your mind? What does that look like?
It does mess with your mind and your mental a lot. If you're just staying in your room, that, it does that to me a lot. It messes with my mental and stuff. But when you go outside and stuff, you need that sun, that natural sun. And once you get that sun, it gives you the energy to keep going. But for me, if I don't get no sun, it's I'm dead.
Why do you think the younger generation have gravitated to this somewhat of an isolation, being an introvert? Why is this such a big thing in the younger population?
Probably because a lot of people are on their phones a lot more. They don't have to go outside to get a real job. That's some people say, the older people say that TikTok and social media is not a real job, even though we put in a lot of effort. So that's probably why everybody just wants to, they see somebody grow on TikTok or they see somebody grow on Instagram or just social media in general, and they're like, okay, then I'm going to do this and I'm going to just quit my job and just stay inside of it.
I think when I was a kid, it's a weird dynamic, and we used to play outside all the time, digging in the dirt, whatever. I don't want to sound too old school. Why do you think it's moved to the house, inside the house? Just because of the technology, and it gives you there's just more to look at and more to do with technology?
There's a lot more to do on your phone nowadays. You can do everything from your phone. You don't have to go outside. You can order food on your phone. You can literally play games on your phone. I feel like parents nowadays don't force their kids to go outside.
Why do you think that is?
Probably because I don't really know it. It's just probably the new generation of parenting.
And when you say new generation of parenting, what do you mean by that?
Nowadays, kids like get phones and iPads and game systems really, really early on age. So it kind of forces them inside the house.
Do you think we give in to kids
Yes.
too easily?
Yes.
I used to fight with my daughter all the time about being on the phone. I said, stay off the phone, because I do have this thought process of when you're on the phone and you have so many choices. When you have so many choices, you know, compared to maybe, let's say if you had 100 choices and I had 15, it almost puts you in a situation where you don't know what choice to make. You think that creates the apprehension in kids today?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Like when you're trying to make a decision, what are you focusing in on to make a decision on when you're dealing with something online?
Because, you know, social media is my job, so I look at it like as a business perspective. If I can make money from it, then I'm going to do it. If I can't make no money from it, then I'm most likely not going to do it.
Now, a lot of kids don't have that mindset. Social could play Donkey Kong. He could play any game. As long as he shows his personality and his energy, he's gonna build a fan base. Think about some kids don't have a personality, and all they do is play the game, and they're not making money. Do you think it's an excuse for a kid like that just to stay on this game and say he's a gamer, but he's not really supporting himself?
I don't know. I think just like in general, like people just are lazy nowadays. They don't want to get a real job. They don't want to go outside and actually work. They see other people doing it, so they think like it's gonna come easy to them in general for like them to make it a social media. Right?
You're 20 years old. You went through COVID, and I had this theory about COVID and I think we're not paying attention to this. To all the parents that are out there, is kids that went through COVID, and then you're talking to Wyatt. Yes, he is successful. He does make money streaming, so he's an exception to the cause of being a gamer. But do you think there's some mental things that need to be addressed for the children that had to go through this COVID situation for 4 years? Because it seems like before COVID, the inside thing was a little bit of a thing, but after COVID, it was more of a thing. What do you think about that?
COVID kind of made me not really talk to people. When during COVID, you couldn't be at your house. You couldn't go to school, interact with kids. You couldn't really talk to anybody. So it's like that really what probably made me really, really enclosed to myself and enclosed to just staying inside all the time. I think that's what it's kind of looking like now to people that are 20, 19, 18, or that went through COVID that are going through right now.
My daughter, I think you're a year older than her, but she was kind of parallel in school with the 4 years of COVID. And nobody's talking about that. You know, if you want to tackle a subject out there, government, maybe that's something you should just think about, because there's a lot of kids out there that have a lot of apprehension, a lot of anxiety. And I don't know if we're thinking of a way to improve their lifestyle or help them through that process, because I've never seen as many kids with anxiety as there is today, and apprehension. And I deal with it with artists all the time because they have high sensibilities. Do you think that it was more COVID to create this anxiety, or more just the technology in general?
Definitely COVID, because like social media, like your phones and stuff, they can cause anxiety and they can cause you like not really looking at the outside world. But definitely COVID, because you're so enclosed to yourself and so enclosed to indoors to where you really can't even go outside or really see nature because you really do need to go see nature and trees and just different scenery like what I'm doing right now. When I'm in the podcast room in South Carolina, when I'm not even used to it in Oklahoma, you know, you don't really see a lot of stuff like this.
I think it's a very interesting thing, you know, this gamer culture. And I think there's going to be a lot of derivatives that create some opportunities, additional opportunities for people to make money. And we were talking about earlier, IRL type of thing, experience is a big thing with a couple big gamers or streamers, whatever you want to call them today. And so I started thinking about it. It's almost like humans with a traveling television. So if they have a big following, this thing called IRL, where you can get these different creators with this IRL backpack, the cameras and so forth, and you follow these situations around and you stream round the clock. Tell me a little bit about that.
IRL, it stands for in real life. And it's more like a reality show, because you can do really anything but live. Like you see like a lot of reality shows that have like the behind the scenes, they have fights, they have parties, whatever. You can do that on live, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So at the same time that someone can record a reality show, you can film that reality show in front of thousands of people.
The gamers, have they seen anything like this to this point?
I think some of them have, but a lot of them haven't really got outside their comfort zone because they're so close to just being inside and not really know how to communicate.
It's all about numbers. And you think about, me being in comedy, and I think about this Kill Tony model. He created a platform. He has all these types of comedians, and it's multiple people. So it's like when you see Kill Tony, those comedians are probably posting content on their socials. So the Kill Tony brand gets, that visibility, and it's a good model. And we kind of started that model in 2016 when I would have like a Ginger Billy open up for Southern Momma and so forth. Now you take this extension of giving these gamers an opportunity to plug into a situation. I don't know what the answer is, but what creatively excites you about that?
Say you pit gaming and comedy. Those two things in one can make a big streamer. Because if you're gaming and you have a little bit of comedy or a little bit of it's going to make people stay. For example, like Kaisenet, Queso. There's a lot of other streamers too out there that are really good streamers, but they have a little bit of comedy to them and a little bit of like outgoingness to make people want to stay.
I mean, I didn't get it at first, but when you told me about it and I started thinking about it and how I could plug that in, because it could be twofold. You can have, like we have gamers in our TikTok Live agency, and I'm the owner of this TikTok Live agency, been owner of this TikTok Live agency now for almost 2 years. When you think about a revenue model of comedy, and then you think about adding this gamer deal, that's a human television type setup, and you can monetize both, because the fan base of the gamer is going to be gifting or whatever you call it, and you're making money off advertising, whatever you're doing on Twitch. And then the actual show that you sell tickets to, it's a very unique integration when you think about it. How those guys like Kaisenet, how do they make money?
A lot of them have like I said earlier when I was talking to you, they have like clip channels, and they have other people that really promote them to bring a lot of people into their room to say like, okay, if I like this streamer, I'm gonna donate to that streamer. And they run a lot of ads. Like they have YouTube, every platform you can think of, they have it. And they're pushing out their content on every platform, which is going to monetize them in any way. Say if they get banned on Twitch, they still have the YouTube monetization, the TikTok monetization, people that are still posting their clips and stuff like that. So they're always going to be making money.
So when you started making money on TikTok and you made anywhere from $2,000 a month to $20,000 a month, how do you approach your streaming now?
I'm more professional, I would say now, because I know what I can and cannot do. But I felt like from going from 2,000 to 20,000 months to back down to 2,000, it's a big leap, but you have to realize that you're going to have bad months and you're going to have good months. So you got to keep going no matter what.
We get this probably 90% of the time. People get into the emotions, they fall off the track, and they might be a great talent, but they don't get to expectations because they're worried about the emotional piece of it. And you said something. What did you say about motivation? What?
Motivation is not real. It has to be about the dedication. If you're really dedicated and you really want something in life, motivation is not going to bother you at all. And I feel like people nowadays, they fear failing. Like you have to fail to be successful.
What do you think when you go back to the choices, and I would see the apprehension and country artists and so forth, why do you think some of these young people think there's a perfect time to do something, release a video or do this, and they create so many perfect times that they never get anything done? What do you think that is?
A lot of people are so self-centered because at one point they're going to be doing good in life, right? Or during their lives at all. And that lives might be doing good, and then it might go bad that time, and they're going to be like, okay, let me switch it up now. Let me switch it up. And that's going to confuse your audience 100%. So I think that's really what it is. They success one time, and they just stick with that one time. And if it don't work no more, they just give up.
And this is something I'm saying, it's something that it resonates in finding a perfect audience in my book. Consistency beats the algorithm every time. If you're out there, what people don't realize, let's say if the whole platform, TikTok had this shutdown and the whole platform was down 5%. So if you have a successful show and you keep that same success going, you're only going to be down 5%. But if you respond to that 5% of the platform being down and you try to change stuff, then you could go down 15%. Why do you think people don't recognize that type of situation? It's not really about the platform. It's not really about the numbers. It's more about if you're a great talent, you're a great talent. And people can't recognize that. Why is that?
I think people nowadays look at it as like, they think like if they switch up things, it's gonna help them a lot. And sometimes it can hurt them a lot. Like you said, you can go down 5% or go down 15% if the platform goes down. And a lot of people try to switch up things, I think, too often. But that's not bad though, because sometimes it can help you if you switch it up, like those streamers that I mentioned, or it can kill you a lot too.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been to rock bottom a lot of times on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I brought it all the way back up because I tried something new.
Yeah.
So you never know what's gonna be the content that you need to do at that time. You just gotta stay consistent. If you're streaming, you're streaming.
Yeah.
No matter what you stream, can pull 1,000 views or it can pull 5 views. But you gotta stay consistent because that's literally the key. It beats the algorithm every time.
If you do make some changes, right, and I think if you do experience some emotional changes within the app, you got to understand the landscape of the application. Everybody needs to pay attention to the landscape of the application. And we forget about that because we say it's me, 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 me. So if you understand the landscape of the app, just be you. And you can continue that success with that consistency, because if you do make the changes and you do experience, look at it. Look at what is being said, look at what comments are being done, look at the landscape, look at all the factors, and maybe take a step back. And this is what I say in Finding a Perfect Audience: when you experience emotions, take a step back, digest it, and then come back and make micro fixes. Don't make the big knee-jerk action fixes. So micro fixes. I prefer almost not changing anything if the landscape is down. I think you wait till the landscape goes back up and then make your micro fixes to try to improve, because you're not on a level playing field, if that makes sense. Wyatt, you said your family's very interesting. Now, coming up as a kid, mom and dad divorced, you don't talk to your dad that much now, and you as a 20-year-old kid, what is your inspiration to be better, through this vice of gaming?
Probably watching my mom raise 3 kids and being a single mom, work 2 jobs. That's really kind of where I got my work ethic from. And like my brother told me that I'm like the only one in the family that can really make it right now. So that's really what hit for real, and I just have to grind 24/7. And I'm young still. I'm the youngest in the family, so I really just gotta make it. That's my only intentions. I don't got no plan B, only plan A.
Where do you see yourself in the next few years? What would you like to accomplish?
I want to just be successful. No matter what in life, if I'm happy, that's all that matters. I can make $40,000 a year, or I can make $1 million a year. If I'm happy and I'm doing what I want to do, that's all that matters to me.
What are kids worried about today? I mean, it's like I'm trying to get inside your head and be like, what does all these things that we talked about, what does that vision look like when you get out of bed in the morning? How do you feel? How do you keep yourself going? We live in such a negative society. You can fall the wrong way when you get out of bed. How do you keep yourself positive and upbeat?
First, you got to keep God in your life, because if you don't have God, then you're not going to be positive. You just got to have that determination that I said earlier. Motivation is not always going to be there. That positivity is not always going to be there, but if you get out the bed, if you wake up every morning, then you should be positive.
Well, I told Wyatt I'd want to get him on the podcast, and I was like, you want to come to the studio and do it in South Carolina? And he said, yeah. He hopped on a plane. I said, you let your mother know? He said, no, I just left. But he had never been to Charleston. What is it like going to new places, like through this opportunity with the TikTok Live Creator Network Agency?
It's very refreshing when you get outside of Oklahoma, because a lot of people from Oklahoma know there is nothing at all to do. After you do it a couple times, you go to the parks a couple times, it gets boring. So once you go to new places, you experience a lot of new things that's outside of Oklahoma. It's very refreshing. And
you said you never had grits before. So how were the grits?
Add a little sugar to them. It was good.
So would you order them again?
Yeah, for sure.
So we're going to try to take Wyatt to eat some oysters. He'd never had oysters either. Go to a new town as a young kid. What do you anticipate? Do you come in with your eyes open? What do you want to do? What do you want to see when you go to these new places?
When you go to new places, what I want to see is just really the different cultures, because there's a lot of different cultures in the world, and there's a lot of different people that you can meet that can make you successful in life, because you never know who you can meet where you're going. You could be in South Dakota and meet Russell Westbrook, you know what I'm saying? Or you could be in around Charleston and, you know what I'm saying, meet someone that's a billionaire. So you never know who you're going to meet. So that's just keep your eyes open, analyze the rooms that you're in. Don't put yourself in positions that you don't want to be in.
And going back to the IRL, and IRL means what? In real life streaming. IRL is real life streaming. I'm really, this is on my mind. I really want to figure this out. I really want to implement this in a lot of things we do. And it may be implemented into this when I do some podcasts with some big characters. How do you see that? What does that landscape look like for you? What is, to make it a success?
Just really just traveling the world through IRL and just like plotting my journey and just giving other people that are my age inspiration to really do whatever y'all want to do in life. So if they want to be a professional athlete, or they want to be a streamer like me myself, or they want to do a construction business at a young age, whatever you want to do, do it, because you never know what you're gonna fall through.
What's the creative for you? Like, what does that look like for you? Just go in hard and start cutting up. What is that like?
Just go in hard and just really go with the flow, because you never know what clip can go viral.
Yeah.
It could be the dumbest clip ever, and you would think, okay, I don't like this clip, it might not go viral, so I'm not going to post it. And if you post it, it gets millions of views. You're like, oh, okay, now I want to step it up. Let me do something even more dumb, or even more crazier, to get more views, because you know that video got views, so you're going to do something more.
Yeah, I saw that stream with Kevin Hart, Cassavetes, and Drewski, and how they clipped that up. That's very interesting. That's a very interesting approach of taking these clips. Now, is that like a real thing and a real part of the business process, these clips that they pull out of these streams?
That's really what is going to get your traction, because those clips did millions of views, and millions of people that saw them clips are going to go to Kai's stream, and they're going to see like, okay, since he did this with Kevin Hart, I know who Kevin Hart is. Now I know who Cassavetes is. Or I know who Drewski is. Now I know who. So really just networking and making those clips are going to really bring your traction. Because if you don't post at all, no one's going to see your stream.
Do you see yourself in this space as a one-man show, or do you need somebody to play off of? Because Cassavetes and Drewski kind of play off each other in their streams. What do you think? You want to run the show, one-man show, or you need some people to play off of?
No, I feel like I could be a one-man show, but if I bring other people into it, it's gonna make me improve, and it's gonna make me grow bigger too as well. If you bring other like celebrities in, because they have their own fan base. So if you have your celebrities and they come onto your stream and their fans support you, they're like, okay, I like this collab. Now their fans are gonna support you forever. You know?
Yeah.
So it's really I wouldn't say a one-man show, but it's like you need probably like the most celebrities that you can get on, like Adin Ross. Adin Ross had a lot of celebrities at one point on the stream, and it helped him a lot. Yeah, he had Soulja Boy, a lot of different people that are nowadays that are celebrities. They collab with other celebrities because they know that the fan bases combined can be something really big.
One last question. TikTok Live Creator Network Agency. You're in our agency. When you set up to go live and go gaming, what are some of the things you think about before you start the game? Do you prep? Do you mentally prep? Do you have certain things you say, certain people you look for? What do you have any strategy with that?
Post before I go live, I pray, you know what I'm saying? If it goes good, if it goes bad, you know what I'm saying? Like if I just put one smile on one person's face, that's all that matters. It's not about how much money I'm making or how many people that I impact. If I just impact one person that day, that's all that matters.
Pretty amazing how some of these young people gravitate to Wyatt and CEO Social TV on social media. You know, it's almost like when you talk about this apprehension, you talk about a lot of these kids being introverts, talk about this anxiety in society. And there's not a lot of heroes out there that we see that are portrayed or portrayed in the media like they used to. Do you think you're somewhat of a hero to some of these younger people that may not have the confidence to get on camera and they want to live through you?
A lot of people have texted me that I make their days. A lot of people have texted me that I've been their impact to stream, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, they don't stream. So when they see me stream, they're like, okay, I want to get a PC. I want to get a PS5. I want to start streaming to Twitch or TikTok or YouTube, whatever. And a lot of people have texted me that say that I saved their lives, you know? So that really impacts me every single day. Just stream, get up in the morning to just click that go live button.
If you're a young kid out there, Wyatt made $158,000. That's not bad. My first job, I made $40,000. So, I mean, and I think you got to give it value. Give it value, give it respect. You can't look for a handout. You have to really come in and do it the right way. What would you say to somebody that's putting the time in and may be a talent, but not giving it the value they should because they may be a little lazy?
My best advice for those people that just want to do long streams and like want to put the time in, you can't do long streams when you first started. It's not going to work out. You have to do 2-hour streams, do your energy, get some good energy, good vibes, 2 hours, get your clips out, and get off. But try to go live at the same time every day, but only for 2 hours. And try to switch it up. Try to do different games, different subjects, different everything. Just do different things just for only 2 hours a day, though. You don't got to do 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day, because there's no point of that when you're a small creator. You're going to get, 100 views max in total? When you can get 1,000 views in 2 hours if you just clip those 2 hours and then just post.
But when I think about streaming, I never think about the clips. So maybe that's, maybe that's something for people like me that's been in the game a while. Think about clipping these streams and think about collabing with other people from a podcast standpoint. It's very, very interesting lifestyle. How many hours a week do you think you stream?
Oh, well over 100.
100 hours a week.
Yeah. I think in 1 week I have done 200 hours.
How many hours are in a week? Shit. 7 times 24. 200 hours. Hell, that's almost all the hours in a week. If we want to find you on social media, where do we find you?
You can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Everything is just going to be CEO Social TV. Except for my Twitch. My Twitch is going to just be CEO Social.
Well, I don't know if there's anything else that you want to put out to the world before we get off here.
To the youth and to everybody that, like, every age, just really just chase your dreams. Because you never know what age you're going to be to succeed, because you can be 35 and streaming. I just know, like, Nick Marks and those people that are older age, like Tim the Tab Man, they're older audiences, but they're just still succeeding playing video games. So you never know what age you're going to be to succeed.
Appreciate you coming all the way out here from Oklahoma to be on the Unimpressed Podcast. This has been CEO Social TV, a.k.a. Wyatt. And I'm John Edmonds Kozma, CEO of Bang Productions, owner of the TikTok Live Creator Network Agency, host of the Unimpressed Podcast. Thanks for listening.